Welcome, welcome, and welcome. I'm so excited you are joining this online training. I'm going to show you my secrets of how you can easily recharge and enhance your intimate fulfillment without putting your career on hold, and that by investing less than 5 minutes a day. And on top, becoming a master of amazing relationships. My name is Matthias Schwentek. I'm the founder of the Somatic Consent Academy. We will go here for about 30 minutes. Make sure you sit comfortable, switch your phone off, because I share a lot of valuable information. I will show you some important dynamics and slides and the number one secret of my findings and an amazing roadmap how you can use all of it straight in your life. Feel free to make notes and screenshots, and if you like, ask questions in the lower right hand corner. I will personally answer all of them after the training. And then at the end of the journey, I have a free bonus gift for you, an offer on how you can make the most out of this training and use what I'm showing you here today in the best possible way. Does that sound good? Okay, then let's start. What this training is, it teaches you a secret skill that will help you to experience the 4 different ways of connection through touch and how to use these insights in your personal life and in your profession. And as you deepen your practice, you will find this useful in many areas of your life. How to develop a better relationship with your lover, with friends, with colleagues, with clients and participants, or in any kind of social situation. So who this training is for, it is especially for you if you're interested in personal and professional development and intimate relationship enhancement. In fact, it's about learning how to empower yourself and others in making choices, express desires and limits, and make clear agreements based on your values and your truth. It shows you very clear who is doing the action and who the action is really for, based on the 5-minute touch exercise that I'm going to show you here today. So please stay tuned. So to make it as easy as possible, I like to narrow all of this down in one magic word, and that is consent. And because the embodiment of consent makes all the difference, I call it somatic consent. Have you ever felt, despite of your success, a sense of disconnection and a kind of loneliness or emptiness? Do you find yourself overwhelmed at times, lost in your busy thoughts, questioning if there is more to life than just climbing the professional ladder? Isn't it like juggling a demanding career of one hand while craving something deeper, more meaningful in your connections on the other? Have you faced moments where confronting these feelings seemed almost useless? Have you ever doubted whether real change was possible? When I was on this point, I started searching and turning every stone over that I could find. And after years of discovering something incredible, how to change my life in just 5 minutes each day, that's all it took. So this discovery I made didn't just change my life, it laid the foundation for the work that I'm doing today and has impacted many who have embraced it. Can you recall times where you felt a gap between your professional achievements and your personal fulfillment? How did that feel? Take a moment and hold on to that feeling as we move deeper into this journey here together. So why do we actually need consent? Imagine a world where every touch and every interaction is consensual, full of clarity and deeply fulfilling, where the depth of connection and intimacy you experience is transformative. And that world can begin here with you today. So the importance of consent is essential for creating safe, respectful environments during every encounter, fostering trust and mutual respect. So consent in action is clear communication and regular check-ins. It helps everyone to engage and make every encounter more joyful and effective. It's about establishing a common terminology and clear communication to enhance people's engagement and comfort by clarifying rules and boundaries. Especially when you need to set the tone to provide guidelines and upholding consent. Engaging in consent ensures safer and more fulfilling experiences. So you can create your desired environment by ensuring your understanding and respect for choices and boundaries. So you are joining here today might that you want to explore how to surrender or express the depth of your true desires. Or maybe it's about deepening the intimacy in your relationships through honest communication. So whatever your goal or challenge is, know that you are here in the right place. And I will guide you through a very effective learning method. So I've been in a world of confusion for many years. I have delved deep into the world of Tantra and sacred sexuality for over a decade as a professional practitioner and facilitator, working with people from all ages and stages of life. So I've evolved from viewing consent as just a term to fully understanding and fully embodying consent since 2010. So my path has led me through over 200 workshops and trainings worldwide, including relationships, touch, sexual empowerment, and transformation through pleasure. And this was an extensive journey of learning, practicing, and teaching, and it has been both challenging and enriching. And I hope my journey towards somatic consent blends with your desires to create a journey of self-discovery and heartfelt impact, avoiding all these traps laying on the way. So my journey towards building somatic consent led me in 2017 to co-founding the School of Consent, and in 2021 I opened the Somatic Consent Academy, what I call a massive consent upgrade. And I share here this new transformative magical secret of somatic consent with you in just a few moments. So how it works and how it all fits together. If you want to read more about me and my journey into consent, I published a book in 2021 and it's called Orgasmic Blueprint. It's a very intriguing title with everything that you need to know. It's for individuals, couples, and intimate professionals, and it provides tools for pleasure, desire, and communication. So the book became a bestseller on Amazon in the category of sexuality. So today we are diving deep into a topic that is crucial for our connections, our intimacy, and our very understanding of human interactions, individually and professionally. So when you hear the word consent, what comes into your mind? For many, it's just a simple yes or no, but in truth, it goes far beyond that binary. So embodied consent is tuning into the wisdom of your body to guide authentic and nuanced interactions. Consent is a journey of self-awareness, and it's an ongoing conversation we have not just with others, but with ourselves. It helps you to understand your desires, your boundaries, and the spaces in between. So imagine a world where your interactions, especially those of touch and intimacy, are rooted in clarity, where there is a mutual understanding and a shared journey of pleasure and a profound respect for each other's boundaries. Examples in dancing, where both partners check in on comfort levels before engaging, or professional collaboration, where all team members clearly communicate roles and objectives before starting the project. Intimate relationships, where couples have ongoing conversations about desires and boundaries. Physical sessions, where you discuss comfort levels and boundaries before starting any action. Participating in events where all attendees and facilitators share clear intentions and codes of conduct. Social gathering where guests and hosts are upfront and clear about boundaries and the nature of the gathering. So this is the world that I envision, and a world where consent isn't just an afterthought, but the foundation of our connections, where it doesn't just prevent misunderstandings, but actively creates deeper, more meaningful connections with people and the world we live in. Wouldn't that be a great world? And as we journey here together today, my reminder to you that consent is transformative. Consent has the power to change lives and relationships, and your very perception of touch and intimacy. But as Carl Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. So I like to invite you to a short dive into the human psyche, because it's essential to recognize the shadows that often surface in our interactions, driven by our primal instincts. So somatic consent doesn't shy away from those shadows. Instead, it equips you with the tools to integrate and transform them. And you might find yourself in some of these expressions. So here are a few live examples where and how the shadows can come up. Perhaps you have more ideas and experiences in workplace conflicts, your intimate relationship dynamics, parent-child dynamics, conflicts in friendships, personal boundary setting for professional growth, people being confrontative and projecting their story. So navigating these shadows isn't a journey you undertake alone. Wouldn't it be great to have a space where every shadow can be looked at and every light is celebrated? Because the pitfall of these shadows is they are hidden to you, right? You can't see them yourself. You need others to reflect them. So the easiest and most difficult thing that I found that works is asking for what you really want. But let's take a few moments and reflect on the following questions to show you what I mean with the shadows and how to find them. Feel free to make screenshots of the questions. So, why don't you ask for what you really want? And this is a really deep question. It guides us into a fountain of our desires. So why don't you ask for what you really want? And what are you doing instead? Yeah, and why is it difficult for you to say no when others can ask for what they want? Yeah. If others can ask for what they want, why is it difficult for you to say no? And what are you doing instead if you can't say no? So you see there is a lot of roots here. So we are all going to be doing something, right? Because we all have all needs and desires that we want to get met. And can you imagine how difficult it might be for others too to ask for what they want or to say no and what they are doing instead? For example, would you like to go out with somebody who doesn't want to go out with you and just say yes, not to hurt your feelings? I don't want to. So let these questions and your reflections sink in a little bit. It shows straight into this shadow dynamics. But the great news are we can transform them instead of making them wrong. And you might ask, how? It's like Buckminster Fuller said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And this new model is what I'm going to show you here in a few seconds. It's the somatic consent engagement system. And this system starts with your base. So your base underscores self-love, self-awareness, self-care, and radical self-responsibility through feeling yourself. So before you can genuinely connect with others, you must first understand and embrace yourself and embody pleasant sensation on a somatic level. It's because you either move towards something that is pleasurable or you move away from something that is not. So unfortunately, there is no substitution for this step. So let's build your base. And to effectively do that, I like to give you a deeper understanding of how to find it with some slides. You will find all this demonstrated as well in the book and in the Academy online courses. So the base is all in your domain, right? What you have a right to and what you are responsible for. All your feelings, your body, your thoughts, your beliefs, desires, limits and boundaries, and taking full ownership of that. But the most important thing in your base is about what direct pleasure is and how you can find it. But what might happen for most of you before is you lose yourself in indirect pleasure. And how? That's how it happens. When you are going into any action, for example, you move your hand, your brain is sending signals into your muscles to go in action, right? And when another person is involved in the action and their response comes back to you and activates your pleasure center, this is what we call indirect pleasure. So their pleasure is your pleasure. So because you do something to make people feel good so that you feel good about yourself when they feel good about what you do. I hope that makes sense. Or vice versa, somebody is doing something to you to get the reaction that they want to have. But you can't feel any of this. And then you pretend or perform and to make them happy. I have done that. So this is what I invite you here today to turn around and turn it into direct pleasure. And that's how it works. So there are a gazillion nerve endings in your hands and they're connected to your pleasure center through the sensory inflow. And because of that, there's a huge part in your brain dedicated to your hands to feel and make sense of the world, right? So that is what we call the direct route of pleasure. So you go into action for your own pleasure. And that is what I would like to invite you to start practicing just 5 minutes a day, activating the direct pleasure through an ongoing pleasure meditation with your hands. This is crucial to embody because the principle is where the entire new model of somatic consent of the system is built on. So in short, you will learn to experience direct pleasure as a benefit for yourself while you are in action, and that is an ongoing process. But now here comes another very important question. How is it really when you touch another person? Can you stay in connection with your sensations of pleasure? Or do you feel when your direct inflow is not open? So why could it be difficult for you to be in action and feel pleasure for yourself? Some example could be shame or guilt or fear or some beliefs. It's maybe just wrong. They don't like me, or you have bad memories of the sensations, or you have some expectations coming towards you or that you have for the others. So when I ask you at the beginning, how do you feel the gap between your professional achievements and your personal fulfillment? Remember, here is the gap. So now I invite you to take a few moments and feel for yourself, why could it be difficult for you to be in action and feel pleasure for yourself when you touch another person? So again, why could it be difficult for you to be in action and feel pleasure for yourself when you touch another person? So give yourself a few moments to reflect on these questions, because this is where you find really access. So to make it really clear here, indirect pleasure is not wrong or bad. You need and use it as a professional and personal for many ways. But when indirect pleasure is the only realm that you know and mostly intimate relate in that world, you make yourself dependent on what is coming back and you miss out on the real deal within. And as we talked about the shadows and the gap, here you find some of the roots. This simple exercise to find and practice direct pleasure is the #1 secret where personal fulfillment and real transformation is built on. So that's my invitation to you to really take that serious for yourself. So that world of direct pleasure is where this true connection and intimacy for yourself is rooted and where you really grow. And this is an inside job. And unfortunately, there is no substitution to that. And only you can do that. So this simple dynamic is creating a holistic and integrated approach to life that leads to a deeper understanding and experience of connection and pleasure. It goes far beyond any technical skills, and it's about creating your base of personal empowerment and autonomy from which you can empower others within the scope of all your existing skills. So practicing direct pleasure as a touch meditation minimum twice a week will make a significant difference in embodying your connection to yourself and to others. So the entire engagement system of somatic consent is founded on these neurological principles, and you learn more about the system in just a few moments. So building this foundation is a life-changing key to embody the difference between direct and indirect pleasure, when and how to use them, and what happens when you ignore them. It's an anchor ensuring that as you climb higher in your journey of intimate connection, while remaining grounded and authentically expressing your truth. From here you can build and become an expert of connection. It's like a musician. The more you practice, the better you will become. So my invitation to you here is to create this internal symphony of intimate fulfillment. Okay, so are you ready to bring this understanding even to the next level? So, the somatic consent engagement system is your guide in a practice that we call the 3-minute game. And the 3-minute game stands for the 4 different ways of human connection within consent. So this creates the engagement zones in the system I will show you in a few moments. So this consent exercise, so the 3-minute game, teaches you how the dance between your desires and your limits work together. So you will embody giving and receiving in all your relationships at work or in everyday life. This skill helps you to connect with others in different ways, and you understand consent in many different situations. And it's like the philosopher Plato said, you can discover more about a person in 1 hour of play than in a year of conversation. And that includes learning about yourself. Okay, I will switch my cam here to show you how it works. This is how the 4 dynamics look like. As an example, if I would touch you, is my hand doing what I want, or is my hand doing what you want? And if you would touch me and your hand is coming towards me, is your hand doing what you want, or is your hand doing what I want? So this is how the game works. When you play with someone, you start in this dynamics with 3 minutes each. And of course, it's not limited to the hands, but a vital starting point. And you play as long as you agree with someone. In short, I do what I want, I do what you want, you do what you want, and you do what I want. And all within your limits or the limits of the others. It shows you who is doing the action and who the action is really for, because taking this dynamics apart will make all the difference. So this creates developmental blueprint, like a compass of engagement that begins with the base. And direct pleasure in your skin guides you into your base, while the 3-minute game leads you into the engagement zones. So here you see when you are in action, your action is either for you or your action is for them. Or when it's their action, it's either for you or it's for them. So it's either your action or it's their action. It's either for you or it's for them. So, and this is the dynamic where the starting point of direct pleasure comes into play. When your action is for you, you need a request. Can I touch you? And on the level of human connection, that needs permission. And when it's their action for you, that needs a different request. Can you do such and such? And that is an agreement, not permission. So when it's their action and it's for them, you need to give permission to their action to feel comfortable. Yes, you can do that. And when it's your action for them, you need to agree. Yes, I can do that. Okay, when it's for you, you are on the receiving side of life. That's all about what you want, your desires, and making requests. And when it's for them, you are on the giving side of life. That's what you are willing to, and your limits, and making offers. So my experience is that people will naturally levitate towards you're experiencing a sense of safety. So they value and understand when you have this dynamics embodied. Now you see the blueprint of the system, a summit for personal, professional, and spiritual development through playful practice and exploration. So this combined shows you the entire system as a roadmap, including the shadows. And as I said that in the beginning, this is the roadmap to use. Please make a screenshot if you like. So this system is using a multi-dimensional approach, showing a holistic, complex understanding of all human connections. It identifies the coexistence of survival shadows with genuine interpersonal bonds, providing a clear pathway to navigate these complexities. So here are a few people with examples going through this transformative embodiment process. So Luna learned to slow down and to feel. And Karina learned to trust feeling her body again. And this helped Dan how to deeply connect sensually and sexually. And Gianni learned the difference between experienced sensations and relational patterns. Nina learned to move from her intellect to an embodied experience of life. Okay, let's take a few deep breaths and reflect on this information. And I hope this content has been helpful so far. So how do you feel if I could help you even more with this dynamics? Is that be something that you be interested in? Now you have two options with this material. You can either choose to go alone with it, right? Take what you learned here and apply it in your life and use it. And I think you will have a lot of great results. Or you can choose the second options because you might have a lot of questions or some insecurities about whether it's going to work, and there might be some gaps that you still need to have filled. And because of that, as I mentioned in the beginning of this training, I have a free bonus gift for you. If you want to get your blueprint and you want to have an individual step-by-step path to get from where you are to where you want to be with your personal life and professional connection, you can get a free 30-minute live Zoom call with me. This is an informational call to feel into what is possible for you. You ask questions on how you can use somatic consent in the best possible ways. I'm really excited about this content and I love teaching that stuff. And it will help you to change how you can think about touch, pleasure, connection, communication, and all forms of relationships. So to get in connection, just follow the link where you can choose a day and time that works best for you. Enter your email and your name, and after that, fill out a brief questionnaire which will help me to prepare for our conversation, understanding who you are and clarifying your intentions so that I can ensure that you get the most out of that call. And again, this is 100% free for you and just to feel into what is possible for you. So here are a few people who choose that call for an upgrade in their lives. So Linda, an educator and transpersonal therapist, she got new insights and heightened self-awareness for exploring healthier, more meaningful relationships in her life and sessions. Richard gained transformative insights into relationships and interpersonal dynamics. Maria experienced enhanced self-awareness and improved relationships through her embodiment. She gained tools to navigate life with confidence and understanding. And Vincent, a psychologist and relationship therapist, reshaped his professional practice by enriching his understanding of connection to sexuality and politics. So he found a deep understanding between non-cursing and making choices. Carol gained new perspectives on relationships and a deeper understanding of herself in confronting her shadows. Okay, so now it's time to wrap it up. Welcome on the other side of this training, and thank you so much for taking the time to invest in consent awareness and your transformation, and how you can easily recharge and enhance your intimate fulfillment. I hope you feel inspired what touch, intimacy, and connection can mean for you. My invitation here to you is be the change you want to see in your life. And if you choose, feel free to reach out, and I love to see you on your call. Thank you again for joining, and bye for now.